So last video I talked about what neural nets are, how it works, what it looks like, what kind of information you get from them. This video I want to talk about how YouTube uses artificial intelligence to basically run the entire platform. This video will include tips and tricks I've picked up over the past 2.5 years or so I've been a YouTuber. From talking to YouTube support, to doing data analysis, to running test after test after test. This video can be useful for both YouTube users and content creators. Now before we get into the video, I just want to mention that some of this is hypothesis. I have hard data to back up what I'm saying, but some of this is a suspicion about how I think it works on the ground level based on that data. With that said, let's get into it. Here's the thing about YouTube, it's very volatile. Any data I collect today could be different tomorrow. Not just because YouTube changes things around a lot, but also because my channel is constantly growing. Most people's channels are constantly growing. So getting reliable data and accounting for certain variables is very, very hard to do. But the first thing you need to understand about YouTube is that the whole thing is run by artificial intelligences. Not a single AI, it's a bunch of little ones. If you remember, in my last video, I said that artificial intelligences usually specialize in one thing and do it very, very well. But asking them to do any other task is a lost cause. It'll inevitably end in failure, because it hasn't been trained to do that task. So here are some AIs that I know for a fact exist. A demonetization AI, a video suggestion AI, a thumbnail generation and thumbnail analysis AI, a content ID AI, and many, many others. I'll go through each of these AIs and talk a little bit about how it works. Throughout the video, I'll give some hard numbers that'll hopefully guide your decisions when creating content. Let's start by talking about the demonetization AI because it seems to be the most controversial right now. If you remember from my neural net video, a neural net basically takes a bunch of variables and spits out decisions based on those variables. The demonetization AI isn't just a single neural net. It uses a bunch of different decisions from different things and bases its final decision off of that. So for example, there's an AI that translates the things said in a video into text and hands that off to the demonetization AI, which receives information from other sources too, like the description, the tags, the title, all kinds of other places. It also takes into consideration the YouTube channel that uploaded the video. Sometimes context matters, so if a YouTuber has a really good reputation with advertisers and the AI, it'll be a lot more likely to give some leeway with demonetizing. It'll assume it got something wrong about the context before it assumes the video wasn't advertiser friendly. So the AI takes all that information and makes a decision about the video. When it first came out, the AI was programmed to basically demonetize everything, take no prisoners. Remember what I said last video about training the neural net, giving it feedback, telling it if it was correct or incorrect? Well, that's what the manual review process is for. If a manual reviewer comes in and says the video was in fact advertiser friendly, the AI learns from that, and it'll be less likely to demonetize that YouTuber's videos in the future, and it'll be less likely to demonetize for things that caused it to demonetize in the first place. If the word f shows up twice in the video, the AI automatically demonetizes, and the manual reviewer approves the video, saying it's advertiser friendly. Next time the AI reviews that YouTuber's video, it might be willing to let an extra f slide. So if there's one piece of advice I can give to any YouTuber out there, it would be to request a manual review. If the AI never gets feedback about your channel, then it'll continue to go all take no prisoners on it. Even after manual review is approved, changing anything about the video will put the video back in queue to be reviewed by the demonetization AI within 24 hours. So if you change the description or the title or something, it'll be re-reviewed. The AI will most likely be a lot more forgiving the second time around, but keep that in mind when changing things after a manual review was already successful. Now this next part won't work for every YouTuber, but for anybody with over 10,000 subscribers, you can upload your video as unlisted or private, and the AI will review it within 24 hours of upload. Then you can request manual review before it goes public, thus retaining the view boost for the first day. Something to keep in mind. Now for some hard numbers. This data is something I gathered over the course of a couple of years on YouTube, and like I said before, this kind of data doesn't stay consistent on YouTube, but as far as I can tell, it's still valid. And even if it isn't exact, it'll at least point you guys in the right direction when trying to do data analysis of your own. Currently, for my own channel, my own format, and the format of similar channels like Armored Skeptic, The Amazing Atheist, Game Theorists, Angry Video Game Game Nerd, Boogie2988, and many others, 17-minute long videos is the golden number. Any longer than that and people start to lose interest. Any shorter than that and you start losing out on watch time, which, incidentally, is extremely important. Which brings me to my next point, how the video suggestion AI works. Just like with the demonetization AI, this one gets information from a billion different places. First, I need to mention how videos are pushed out to more people. The more watch time a video gets, the further the video suggestion AI pushes it. So podcasts get a lot of watch time because they're really long. But the trade-off is that not everybody likes the podcast format. So I started my podcast and my science channels at the same time. Podcast videos are about an hour long and science videos are about 5 to 10 minutes long. Remember, they started on equal footing, started the same month. So I get around 60 views per day from the podcast channel, and I get 300 views a day on the science channel, because they're easier to watch. Quick bites that you can watch on break at work. The science channel has about 90,000 impressions in the last 28 days, and the podcast channel has about 22,000 impressions. An impression is basically when YouTube puts the video in front of a person, when they see the thumbnail and title. You can expect a certain number of views to come from so many impressions. So the past 28 days, the podcast channel had 22,000 impressions, but it had 2,000 views. That means about 9% of the people who saw the thumbnail clicked on the video. The science channel, with 90,000 impressions, had 9,000 views. After looking at the exact numbers, it's just a little bit above a 10% click rate. Now, as far as the video suggestion AI goes, it's extremely complicated. To start, it takes the last videos in your watch history and looks at what other people watched who also watched the videos in your history. It also takes video likes and dislikes into consideration. So if you thumbs up the video, for one thing, it'll push that video out to more people. But in addition to that, it looks at other people who also liked that video, and it'll look at their watch history. It'll find videos that a bunch of other people have all liked, and it'll drop those videos on your home screen. It's an extremely complex and impressive system when you really step back and take a look at it. So here's something you can take from that. If you saw a video you didn't like, and you don't want to see more like that, go to your watch history and remove it. That'll lower the chances that YouTube will suggest more like it. One more thing on this subject. Only 25% of my views come from subscribers. YouTube's video suggestions work partially off of who you're subscribed to, but I think the bulk of the suggestions are based off of people with common tastes, and those suggestions are prioritized by watch time. Now let's talk about the ideal time to release videos. The best time for my channel is between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Just looking at my analytics, most of my views come from Texas and California, presumably because those two states have a really high population in relation to other states. People in California are probably taking a lunch break around 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. My best advice for picking a time to release a video is to track your hourly view estimates for a few weeks and see when it spikes. Separate days out and put them into graphs. By the way, you are scheduling video releases, right? If not, you need to fix that. Some people ask me why I release 2 videos per week instead of once per week, or even 3 times a week. Here's why. I noticed that I was averaging around 3,000 views per day for the entire week, and then on release day I'd get 10,000 views. The day after I'd get about 6,000, and then right back down to 3. So I decided I'd try to even it out a little bit. If I made 2 videos a week and I spread them out, I'd get the jump twice a week. Then 2 days a week I'd get a ramp down period. I was hoping the ramp down period would stretch out a little bit if I kept people engaged and released regularly. So here's where data crunching comes in. I was right. If I release twice a week instead of once a week, the ramp down period stretches across 2 days instead of just 1, and it shoots right back up the next release day. So I can expect an average of about 34% more views per day across the week if I release twice a week instead of once a week. So I was averaging 10,000 views a day on Sunday, then 6,000 views a day on Monday, then 3,000 views a day for the rest of the week, for a total of 31,000 views a day, or an average of 4,400 per day. When I released twice a week instead, I got 10,000 on Sunday, 6,000 on Monday, 5,000 on Tuesday and Wednesday, 10,000 on Thursday, 6,000 on Friday, and 5,000 on Saturday, for a total of 6,700 per day. That's an increase of 34%. Out of curiosity, I decided to release 3 times a week for a few weeks in a row, and that kicked my views up too, but it only raised them by 12% per day across the week, as compared against 2 releases per week. And I was working 33% more, so it wasn't worth the time and energy I had to put in. I already work around 80 to 90 hours a week as it is. 2 per week is a perfect medium for me, at least for now. And finally, I wanted to talk about why I have 3 different channels. This is an extremely important point, and it's something that a lot of YouTubers struggle with. If you do a different video format or different type of content, like if you do a podcast on your main channel, which has traditionally been 10-minute educational videos, not as many people will watch it. A portion of your subscribers will skip that video. And remember, your subscribers are the first ones to view it normally. They're the ones that kick the whole thing into gear. If you get, say, 500 subscribers to watch the video in the first 5 minutes it's out, that'll determine how many other people get it suggested to them. If you only get 100 subscribers to watch it in the first 5 minutes, the video will be suggested to proportionally fewer people. And now that those 400 subscribers skipped that video, YouTube is going to think that they lost interest in the channel, and it'll only suggest the next video you release to, say, 30% of the people who skipped the last one. And here's something else to note. There's this uproar about notifications not going to subscribers when a new video comes out. This is a hypothesis, but I suspect that YouTube uses the ratio of how many subscribers get the notification to how many actually watch it as a metric for how hard to push the video. They probably also factor in average subscriber watch time. The vast majority of viewers in the first hour aren't subscribers for any of my videos. But I actually made a huge mistake a few weeks ago on my main channel with video releases. I had a Jonestown guest video on Professor Stick's channel, and I made part 2 for my channel. Part 1 released on his channel on Saturday, and on Sunday I released the same part 1 on my own channel silently. I turned off notifications so it was just supposed to drop into my library. Well, that is what happened. It did release silently. No notifications for subscribers, but YouTube still suggested it to people on their home screen and on the subscriptions feed because they're subscribers and they hadn't seen it before. So within the first hour of a release, usually I can expect around 2,000 views on a single brand new video. My Jonestown Part 1 video got 1,000 views in the first hour at 2 o'clock, and when I released Part 2 at 4 o'clock, instead of getting 2,000 views like usual, it got 1,000 views too. So it ended up evening out. I got the same number of views between the 2 videos, but the next time I released a video, that one only got 1,200 views in its first hour. The following release got 1,600 views. It took me 2 or 3 weeks to recover from it, where YouTube was suggesting the videos at a normal rate again. So it's something you'll have to be really careful with or you'll get f***ed. There are so many other things I could talk about, like how following YouTube trends will make your channel explode, talking about Jordan Peterson or SJWs or whatever thing is popular on YouTube right now, or how video tags should be heavily based on your title and on other videos and YouTubers who have covered similar subjects, but I can't cover it all in one video. This video is really long for the science channel as it is, but I think I've covered a good bit of information, so I'm happy. That's all I've got for you. Follow me on Discord and all social media so you can be one of the people who boost my video in its first hour. And check out my other channels. All links are in the description. Thanks for watching, guys.